Good evening, viewers, and welcome to The Price of Fame. My name is Lunga Tshuka, and I'll be your host. All right, so The Price of Fame is a podcast that focuses on the real life stories about the journey to success from the moment of realization of one's gift or purpose. And in these conversations, we aim to shed the light on the hardships, the sacrifices, and the mindsets that our guests have to overcome to achieve their current position in their career. And these are their stories. All right, so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I know we tried to get him on previously, but due to certain things, we got him back tonight. And I'm so excited, and I know a lot of my viewers are excited for tonight's guest. So tonight's guest, a little bit about him. He's a SAMA award-winning rapper, songwriter. He's also done some amazing collaborations with people like Kelly Rowland, Josie, Two-Face, Casper Nyovest, Ricky Rick, so Wale, and there's much, much more. In fact, you can go check him out in his artwork on his album called The Car and the Car 2. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the screen the man who's going to hit you in the spirit. Woo! Make some noise for KWESTA!
Yeah. What's going on? What's up, yo?
What's up? What's good, bro? What's good?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Home, studio, trying to rap, but I'm all right.
Always focus, always focus. Yeah. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for coming on to the show tonight. I know a lot of my viewers are super excited for this episode. People have been privately texting me, being like, oh my word, you've got KWESTA on the show tonight. So yeah, a lot of them are looking forward to getting to know you. Like I said, we're going to get to know the real KWESTA today. So we're going to give you a chance to share your story, and we're going to learn from you. And we actually hope that your story inspires other people. And we know a lot of people who are looking up to you are listening and tuning in today. No pressure.
All right, can only hope. I mean, if it's the truth, it's the truth, But no, man, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man.
No, cool, man. No, like it's a mutual thing, I guess. So look, we've been 6 months now into 2021, and for the entertainment industry, this year has looked a lot different than last year. For you, KWESTA, can you please describe to us how has 2021 been treating you so far?
I mean, well, there hasn't been much difference from last year, really, to tell you the truth. I mean, well, maybe we enjoyed a bit of level one with the lockdown in the beginning of the year, but I mean, essentially, especially financially, we've been on lockdown for like a year and a half, with being able to properly monetize live shows, Now you do it just to keep your name out there, really, but it's not, you can't really monetize it because, it doesn't make sense to anyone, whether the guy doing the show or the guy is going to the show or you, the guy performing at the show. It really, on a 360, doesn't make sense, But it's been okay, man. It's been dope. I mean, at the end of last year, I got my second born, so I've been using this time to get to know her a little better, just chilling out there playing daddy, Also I dropped the album, God Guluva, and now I'm back just in the studio grafting. There's a lot more content that is going to come out, with regards to the album. There's music videos, things like that, but it's been it looks hopeful. 2021 looks more hopeful than this time last year.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. And like you just mentioned, you got a new boy baby, right? And you've got so much people who look up to you, rappers and just people who love your music in general. How does that make you feel knowing that there's people watching you, there's people on your back, When you're winning, you're not just winning for yourself, you're winning for your family, you're winning for other people as well. How does that kind of make you feel when you step out into the world or when you do your thing? Does it give you an extra push? Does it sometimes make you a bit too nervous, when you're trying to do your thing, or does it actually help you, express your art?
It really works both ways, one half of it is really it puts pressure on you. You get this pressure that the whole world's looking. One mistake, you could be messing up Tsepo's life, just based off of your mistake, because he follows everything you do. So if you set a foot wrong, he follows that, then he's done something wrong, So there's that pressure of that everyone's looking. But then there's also the push that comes with it, where that you got to give everything your all, because it's not really just about how you woke up today. It's also about all the people that kind of follow you and feel like what you're doing is something that they try and mirror in life, So try to be as honest as possible about your life in the music and as honest as possible about your life in the interview, so that they can see both the challenges and the good side of things, you know. But most importantly, there's a third part to it, I think, which is, I mean, I've always been the type, I've always only ever promised people music, you know. I've never, I mean, if I let you into my life in anything, it is through song. You know, it's gonna be through a song or through this, that, and the third. But it's literally just musically. I've only ever promised good music, so I don't. I'm not the type that's probably gonna have 25 cameras in the house or be followed around by cameras and things like that. You know, just because of the type of human being I am. So with my public persona, that's music, you know, and that's content. Well, now it's kind of switching up to content and visual, but I've only promised the creative side of things. So if I make a mistake as Senzo, you know, as much as I'll try my best to not make a mistake, but that's a mistake as Senzo. You know, you can't hold KWESTA accountable for Senzo's mistakes. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, it's just how it works, you know. So the balance has been crazy, but I mean, you acknowledge the responsibility of the fact that you are somewhat a leader of sorts and people follow you, and you try to act accordingly, but also hope you don't lose yourself, you know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wow. And like, it's not easy to balance everything, you know, like at the same time, make sure that you are on top of the game with all of the stuff you have to do, you know. Make sure that you're setting a good example, making sure that you are good in a good space, you know, so that you're ready to deliver, you know. So it's actually quite a lot energetically and mentally, you know. And as a rapper, you know, as
Yeah.
award-winning rapper, I have a question, man. So I really need to get this out, and I want someone from like someone like you know, professional rapper who knows rap, who's been rapping for a while. Like I've seen, I think I used to see you probably on like Channel
I'm
O or
losing
something.
you a little bit, bro. I don't know
Sorry.
why. There's like a noise distorting thing, but it's stopped now. Okay, I think we're good.
Are we good now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I was saying like from a
Oh,
professional
damn it.
rapper,
It
you know.
happens when you speak. You see, as soon as you speak, it just starts.
Ah,
Yeah.
from
I'm
my
not sure
side,
what's going on.
I know. Wait,
But we'll try. Maybe I can hear you through it.
let's try and see if we can sort this out. Selector, what do you suggest what we should do? I'm just gonna hear from the selector real quick.
Okay.
But can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. There's just a thing when it goes on for too long,
Can-
it gets
yeah.
louder and louder, and I stop hearing you. So I kind of hear you in the beginning, and then eventually it stops.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and log out and come right back in this. Do you mind holding on for me just a little quick?
All right, cool.
Cool. I'm just gonna try and sort this out quickly.
Sure.
All right, I'm back. Is the sound gone?
I'm gonna be back now. Also, turn this off.
Cool. Yeah, the sound is gone.
Hold on, I'm gone.
It's all good.
Here we go. We good?
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
That
better.
sound is gone now. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, as a professional, hey, did that sound just come back now?
Yeah, it did just come back.
Okay, let's try and run this nice and smooth. Please let me know if you can't hear me, okay? So
All right,
I'm
cool.
saying maybe it doesn't want me to ask this question because it was fine the whole time. As soon as I get to this question, it's like, don't go there.
Yeah, I don't know what you're about to ask me, but
I had this debate with a friend of mine, right? He does music and he owns a record label, right? And he had this debate with me, and he's like, why don't he's because he's like he's worked with some rappers and he's worked with some musicians, singers, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, musicians, singers have a better chance of making money in the industry, you know, as like getting a job or a gig, like a residency, something like that. And he's like, why don't rappers have the same kind of thing, like get a residency at a place like that or whatever? And then he said the difference is that singers do covers. Rappers do
Yeah,
not do covers. And then he's like, maybe rappers should do covers and then they would be able to perform. And I was like, nah, in hip hop with rapping, it doesn't work like that. You have to come with your
yeah,
own material. And he was like, it was a huge argument, but he kind of made sense in terms of like where they do covers and they like get jobs on like cruise ships or jobs at hotels to perform there, like a residency and
yeah.
that kind of. But with rapping, you don't cross that line. So as a rapper, can you please explain to us why is it we do not cross that line? And as soon as you do something like that, it's called biting or something. Or
Yeah, definitely.
so
Definitely,
please
man. I
explain to
mean,
us for those who do not know. Please make us understand why is there a difference.
I mean, with it's really how also the 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 sport of rap was birthed, from how it came about. It was always just a competition thing in the corner, was battling, right? Who's got
Yes,
the
yes,
better words, who's got the better punchline, who's got the most disrespectful line, just a friendly disrespecting of each other's hustles, and these are
yes.
things that, so I can't take words from somebody else and use them in that space, because then it doesn't show how good I am with my words, and really that was the beginning of this whole hip hop thing, where you kind of have to have these things from your head that you're saying to this guy that's in front of you, and there's this nice little banter of words just about who's dope and who's not, and that has to come from you, because if it doesn't, then you're not the person saying it,
Uh,
and with singing, the great thing about singing is that, which also challenges the rapper, the great thing is really the voice.
yes.
It's really based on how angelic the voice is and how dope the voice is.
Yes.
But with rap, it's not really based on any voice. It's based on, um yeah, the rhyme, the actual words. What did he write? What did he say? What did he, you know what I mean? It's literally just the words are more important than the voice delivering it. I mean, sometimes you get a nice balance of the two and it works out great for the artist, and so somewhat the voice is important, but it's secondary to the creative writing, because that's
Yes.
the sport of rap. The creative writing is really what birthed the entire thing. Its existence was birthed by being able to come up with these words and manipulate the language, and create a punchline, and say some silly stuff and say some emotional stuff. So it's really banked on the words more than what voice carries those words, and I think that's the big difference. I mean, it's also a sport where it's a contact sport. It's like it has to come from you, bro. And I think if it doesn't, I've always understood that people need writers in music and this, that, and the third. I get it with singers. I get it. I have no problem with that. Even rappers sometimes with choruses and things like that. Like if I can rap my stuff and then you come in with a nice melodic chorus, I have no problem with that. That's why you are featured on the song Questa featuring. So, but if you're gonna write what I'm saying, with regards to the verses and what the message of the song, then it takes away from me as a rapper. If we are to use the codes of what we used when the entire thing began. So I think that's the difference with singing. You're mainly looking for the voice. You can get the lyrics later, but you can have good lyrics and not have a good singer. But with rap, if you don't have good lyrics, you don't have anything. It's
Okay.
it's it's, it's you're finished.
Yeah.
It can't work.
Okay, so I see. And I wish I could explain it in this way. I was like, you just don't do it. It's just wrong. You don't do it. It's called biting. And I mean, you
Yeah,
just
it's
actually
not gonna work.
clarified it so nicely now because I could actually picture the whole thing, and it makes so much sense because with singing, we do focus on the voice. We focus on
Yeah,
how
and
well
I mean,
you sing, how well you
and
can
another
hit the
thing
note.
is that as you're singing, I mean, your voice is getting better and better when you're doing these covers, which is great for you. But as a rapper, if you keep rapping other people's lyrics, you're not getting better as a writer. You know what I mean? Doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually writing your own material and trying to do better and trying to maybe even compete with other people, that's when you actually grow as a rapper, you know?
Yeah, that's how you grow. You have to write, you have to practice, you have to do this thing. It's not like riding a bike. You constantly have to be at it. But with singing, you can do covers and still be improving, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sound just creeps up every now and then. So I'm gonna try and keep my questions quite short and sweet, okay? But you
Sure.
fine, you can go. So my next question is, when did it all start for you? You know, as a very, very young boy, can you tell us how old you were? What made you fall in love with rap? You know, what did you drop? When did you drop your first rhyme and people were like, oh my word, you know, this is something that I actually want to do. Can you take us back to that and how it started for you?
Uh, sure. So quite a while ago. Um, I mean, I started off. I obviously started just listening to. I came up off of Guaito. You know, Guaito was in the streets. I'm from a township of Katlehong that is very Guaito based and Pantsula lifestyle and all those things. You know, then I met a friend of mine. I think I was 16. I was about 15, 16. Yeah, 14, 15. You know, and this friend of mine really liked this rap thing. He just kept talking about rap, and I was like, hey, yes, no, bro, just stop with this rap stuff. Play the TKZ, play the new TKZ, you know, play the new Mtu, you know. I really didn't, I didn't understand it, so because I hadn't really exposed myself to it, and then somewhat, I mean, he kept playing this thing whenever he got the chance, but I never really connected until he played Eminem. Right? One time he played Eminem. I mean, I'd heard everyone. He had played me some Biggie, he had played me some Pac, and I started liking some of the music, you know, but I never really wanted to do it. I was just like, okay, this is a dope song. Dear Mama, I like that, you know. I like
Yeah,
that song. I like Juicy. Oh, that's amazing. Who's that? That's Biggie. Okay, cool. So I only appreciated the music, but it didn't really drive me into doing it, you know.
yeah,
And then also Eminem came, and it also didn't quite drive me into doing it, but it made me love it even more when Eminem came because his style was kind of different from all the raps I've heard, and 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 it kind of got me intrigued because his was a little bit faster and a little bit more punchline based, a little bit. So I kept listening, and then I bumped into people like H2O and Squatter Camp and you know Proverb and all those guys. Then I was really like into it with listening, and I only really wanted to rap in 2005, I think, in 2000 yeah, in about 2005 when I first heard Pro Kid rap.
mm,
That's when I wanted to do it. That's when I was like, okay, I want to do this. You know, you could do
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? So around 2005 was when it wasn't just about me appreciating it as a music. I was just a fan of it. I wasn't really practicing the art of doing it. You know, I was just collecting and playing wherever I could, just playing, and, you know, going to shows and listening. But when I first heard Pro Kid with his album Heads and Tails, I then, you know, right then and there, I was like, I want to give this a shot because what
yeah.
I felt he was doing was like he was rapping, but he was rapping about what I felt was me. You know, he
Ah,
kind of rapped about me and my surroundings and I could see the things like his raps had visuals. All these other guys could rap, but I couldn't really see what they were talking about and things
yes,
like this
yes,
because they're either in America or they're not, you know. And with this
yeah,
guy, I looked around and I could see his lyrics. And I'm like,
absolutely. Wow.
he's talking about us, bro. And that really got me interested in doing it. And since then, that's when I got really bit by the bug. I mean, I think before then, about 2002, 2003 was when I fell in love with the thing and kept. But by 2005, I was writing, and then I started writing, and I kind of, you know, it was bad at first. It was terrible. If I say so myself, it was really bad. Um, but you know, I just kept at it. I just kept doing it, and I did it for myself. I just did it in the house. Nobody knew that I was doing that, except the people in the house who'd sometimes catch me in front of a mirror performing, you know. But but eventually I made like this sort of silly little CD, which was like a very bad quality and things. I just made a CD and I played it for a friend of mine, Nudon, you know.
Yeah.
And Nudon said, "Yo, come through, man. Actually, I'm also just started making beats." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I'm making beats." I said, "Okay." And he started playing me those beats, and I started rapping what I wrote on those beats, you know. And yeah, we started just going on it, and we kind of took it out of our own little space and gave it out to the hood, you know, just said, oh yeah, by the way, I rap and this, that, and the third. And shockingly enough, the response was pretty good. You know, everyone was like,
Yeah.
bro, this ain't bad at all, you know, like you could do something with this. But I obviously was like, these guys are just being nice guys, They're just being cool about it and blah blah. But but then I started going to shows and performing these songs, and I could see the response of strangers now. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. They really like this, and I start hearing other rappers talking about it and going, oh, there's this guy, this, that. And I'm like, okay, it's a thing now. And then I didn't want to look back from there. I mean, as soon as I got sort of almost approval from everyone, as soon as everybody thought it was good enough for them to listen to, that's when I also thought maybe it's worth maybe it's worth my time to kind of pursue it as a career. And I was like, if I'm going to try it for the first time and I can already garner my 5 little fans, I have 5 fans already, I think we got something good going here, and since then there's never been looking back, bro.
That's awesome, man. Wow. It's like really awesome. Picture everything that you just described now. KWESTA, I want to take you to a time where I think the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
Your sound. So it's a music video. I'm going to describe, I don't know what song it is, but I know they had a fresh beat and a really, really boom bap. The sound. And you were wearing a straight peak cap. And there's moments where the video is like in slow motion and stuff, and then you're moving again, and then the music slow motion. It's I think it's like it's one of your first few songs. I don't know if you can remember. Straight peak cap.
What was I wearing?
A t-shirt and jeans. I think, I don't know. I'm getting a black t-shirt. I'm picturing a black t-shirt, a black cap with maybe a purple peak. And I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was Stomp,
Yes,
that was one of my very first videos. Yeah, it was called Stomp. Yeah, that was my very first video. You got that right.
Yes, it was the first one.
That's
dope.
Was my very first one.
I never heard of you, and I just never stopped of you again. So, can you tell us a little bit about that experience when you started with Stomp? How did you feel? Like, okay, this is it. I'm serious. This is me putting myself out there, or were you like, okay, I don't know what happens now? What was that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, 3 years before that came out, because I think that came out 2009. So I think when I started this thing, when Donna and I were just recording, and we met some other guys called Africa's Most Southern Records, and right there, I was able to record sort of professionally, and I made a little demo, a big demo. In fact, we were just rapping and rapping and rapping without a plan, and then kind of took some of those songs and I went to Slicker and Smacks and I said, yo, can you guys give me a deal? And Slicker and Smacks were Squatter Camp at the time, well, they Squatter Camp now, but it was Bada Bing Entertainment and Ventilation.coza. And I sent through my demo. I literally went there myself also. I didn't post it or anything. And at first they said, nah, we're not looking to sign anyone and this, that, and the third. And it was just a bad day for me. I was like, oh, there goes that. Now what? But I left that CD in there with the phone numbers, and then someone at the Bada Bing offices, either Slick or Smacks or someone, made the mistake of playing it. And after they played it, they had to call the guy who made the music. They're like, hey, bro, we just played this thing, man, that you left here. This was about 2 or 3 days later. And we just played this thing, bro. We got to work, bro. We got to do something. So by the time I was shooting Stomp, I'd been working with Slick and Smacks for about 2 years. And I'd recorded like about over 50, 60 songs because that's all I really did. That's really all I did. And that was the first single too when I started working on an album that would then drop in 2010, which was Special Request. That was the first single off of that, and it was produced by Amin Heron, who's now working very closely with Youngster and everyone. Yeah, he's a Cape Town based producer. And we actually shot that video.
Sorry, KWESTA, I can't hear you.
Yo, okay, I'm back.
I don't know. Maybe try logging out and coming back in.
Logging out and coming back in.
Yeah. Can you try that?
Okay, cool.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, these things happen, especially when you're doing it live. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. And thank you for always coming to the shows and the likes and the shares and the subscribes. I want your subscribes to go up, yeah? If you're watching this, subscribe. There's a lot of you guys here that's watching and commenting and stuff, but didn't subscribe. I see you. I see you. I see you. Are you real or are you not, man? Are you real or you not, bro? And sister, bro and sisters, you need to be real in this life, man. Real, because real rep raw, and when raw is read by real, all right, you're
Yo,
back.
yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, where were you?
Yeah. I was saying, so this song was produced by Amir Heron, who's a Cape Town-based producer. That's now working very closely with Youngster and like a lot of people and Nadia Jafta and everyone, which is dope. And yeah, we're trying to shoot that video first in Katlehong, where I come from, and Uyanga Chief, who's now like the current champion of hip hop in the summers, who's literally the current holder of the South African Music Awards Best Hip Hop, was the guy who shot the video at
Yeah,
the time because he was just messing around with the camera. He had just done this course of visuals and things like so. We were just putting things together, whatever can make sense, and he was behind the camera shooting that, and it didn't quite come out the way we needed it to. So we scrapped that entire idea, went to town, and said, "Yo, let's try it again. Let's shoot it here," and then that finally came out. Yeah, but that song was really just "Yo, I'm Questa and I can rap." That was the whole point of that entire song because from pretty much start to finish, it's just a bunch of punchlines on a heavy beat. It was really just me saying, "Yo, I'm
absolutely.
Questa and yeah, I can rap."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope. Like, yeah, you introduce yourself like that, you know. You didn't just come out like chilling and everything. It's like, oh, this is who I am. This is my
yeah,
flavor. This is my flavor, and this is my talent. And this is what.
yeah.
And look out, look out. There's a
Yeah,
new
that
kid
was
on the
pretty.
block.
That's the reason for that song. That pretty much sums it all up. It was a lookout moment.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna go check it out after this interview. I have to.
Nah, bro,
Questa.
don't do that.
It's in the past, man. I mean, that's what propelled you.
Hey, man, I guess that's what it took. That's what it took, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, but I promise you, if I recorded my first few jokes, I wouldn't want to watch it too. You know, my very first, I'll be like, no, I want to see
I
that.
got you. I got you.
And it's also my
I
materials.
feel you.
Yo, me, I'm a comedian,
Yeah,
and this is what I am. You know. But so I
yeah.
understand what you mean. Tell
No,
us a
no,
little bit
it's
about
it's
where you
tough.
came from. Was there any challenges, in your community growing up, that kind of like hindered you, that you felt like you needed to fight for your music, maybe challenges in the household where they're like, no, stop this nonsense of this rapping, you're not going to get far with this, or maybe even drugs and gangsterisms and that kind of thing. And even now, what are your challenges like today?
Yeah, I mean, those challenges were definitely there from a home front and from just the environment of the type of hood I was from. There's obviously the one thing that I've always known that I wanted to escape, which was like being caught up in the criminal activities that I saw around me. There was a lot of that. A lot of the kids I grew up with. Some are not in the right line of work. Some are in jail. Some have passed on because of just the natural urge to want to be criminals because you feel like the world has just shut you out in any case or whatever the situation. So, but I've always known from a young age that that's something I don't want to use as an excuse to be a criminal. I don't want to use my hood as an excuse of why I'm a criminal. Instead, I try to find ways of the real small things that I could fall in love with from my hood. And that's how I also, like I said, found this music thing because I went to a friend who appreciated something else other than, guns and stealing cars and all that shit. And that's where I found rap. So being in those little pockets of spaces kind of helped me out. And also I was just, I was like a little bankhat, like just a guala, I
Yeah.
was a little young
Keep
guala.
it safe.
I was small in stature. I'm like, oh, yo, if it was just, But on a serious note, it was really that I was always aware of my surroundings. And when I started this rap thing, the hood didn't understand it, right? Because the way I rap is around,
Sorry,
is
Questa. Sorry, brother.
There's not a lot of look for. I don't know what happened. I lost you there
Yeah,
for a second. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. Just back up just a bit where you said in the hood.
Yeah, I
I
lost you
think
there
you're
a
saying
little
there's
bit.
not a lot of
I'm seeing myself, but I'm not seeing you.
yeah. Are you seeing me now?
Sorry?
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, cool. You were at the part where you said like because in the
Yeah,
hood where you're
you're
from,
here.
there's not enough role models like rappers.
Yeah. Wasn't role models. Yes, I guess that's a better way to put it. I mean, the role models were his life is seemingly amazing, but also just to be more direct about maybe to my story is also that there wasn't anyone to look to who rapped, so no one could reference that. No one could reference anyone who's in the entertainment space. I lost you there again.
I got you there. I got you nice and clearly. Can you hear me and see me?
Oh, so I must just keep talking without seeing you because sometimes you go off
Is it?
and
Yeah, I think Streamlord will let it keep. Will keep it going. So I can
oh,
actually
okay,
hear
so
you.
then I'll just
So
talk.
you just have to carry on. I will stop you though
Yeah.
if I don't hear anything. So carry on if I disappear or whatever.
All
Cool.
right, cool. Yeah, so there wasn't a lot of references for guys who rapped or guys who were in the entertainment industry or were in entertainment at all. So it everybody was caught off guard when I said I wanted to do this rap thing. Which then trickled down to even inside the house at home. Where my mom was like, "Nah, bro, you can't do that. You need to go do this. Go to school, do that. Continue with that. Do not ever do this. This doesn't make sense to me." But also, it's not even because she was trying to not support me. I mean, I think it's the core of it is that she didn't understand it. She literally like doesn't like. There's no one she can ask. There's no parent that whose child has done this that she knows. There's no child that has done that I know. So there's no way of referencing it close by. Except turning on the television and that always seemed like a far place. Television was always like, that's far. How dare you? Go be a doctor. Maybe that's closer than being on TV. And I'm like,
Yeah.
being a doctor is much harder than getting on TV. But
Yeah.
but yeah, but the understanding was twisted at the time, and I get that. So that's why I'm not even mad. So I mean, those were some of the challenges one faced. And also when you think about these songs in your head and you think about recording, there's not a lot of places to also find just around you where you can go record. So resource was also a problem, which is something that boiling to your second part of your question is something that I'm changing in the hood now, by trying to sort of make sure that everyone, or many people, not everyone, it's impossible to do that, but as many people as I can sort of get the opportunity to record, to just the resource, just the basic resource of recording, which was a big deal for us, where you'd end up with 100 songs that have never been recorded, not because you think you're too good to record, but there's nowhere to record. And you hear about these places that are in town that are very expensive, so right now I feel like the challenge is just exposure to the resource, that
Mhm.
that is in many hoods and mine too, because what the internet has done is brought the world, or the audience closer, or brought artists closer to the audience, where you can just upload. But now you can't upload stuff you haven't recorded, and you can't upload without having recorded it properly. You can't upload without the right Wi-Fi router and the right Wi-Fi things, so I think those are the challenges that are there now. But as far as hip hop being accepted as a thing, I think that's gone. In Katlehong, a lot of us kind of fought that fight, from the guys of Squatter Camp to Reason, to myself. We've kind of fought that fight to kind of make sure that the guys who love hip hop know that it's possible by just looking at us. But now we still have to fight the resource war.
Man, you basically paved the way for your hometown because, like you said, there was no one doing it. There's no one you could reference to. So once they saw,
Yeah.
wow, this we came from, we come from. I'm sure there's a whole lot of rappers that started sparking up from your hometown, and you are the reason
Yeah. As
why they
soon as as soon as the way was led, as soon as someone paved the way, it got easy and people could go, oh yeah, I could do that too. Because a lot of the
Yeah.
time people keep it a secret that they rap because it's a little frowned upon. But as soon as they see a somewhat success story or progressive story, then they can go, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. Now, bro, in Katlong, every fifth kid raps. Every second, third kid you meet is a rapper or wants to be a rapper or is interested in rap or is interested in managing rappers, but the
Yeah.
entertainment industry or the dream of the entertainment industry is a real thing.
So it's like you became that pro kid that you were watching when you were like, damn, I want to do that. He's rapping about what I see around me. You became that rapper now where the kids will be like, damn, he's rapping about where he come from. I come from that place. What?
That's
You
all
talking
I've
about
ever
that
wanted to
crazy woman?
do.
I know that crazy woman. Yeah.
Exactly,
So,
exactly, man. I don't want to talk about things that they knew that I didn't know, because they know where I'm from now. If I start rapping about other things that they don't relate to, then I'm confused as to who I'm rapping to. So I've always wanted to rap for the people around me to kind of show them how big the world is and also just tell their story to everybody else.
yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
And as a rapper, did you ever like, I mean, in your career, did you ever find a time where things got really heavy and like really, really tough for you and you just needed like, for right now, I need to put the mic aside, I need to put the studio and everything aside. I just need to be myself right now and focus because it's a really, really challenging time for me now. Did you ever have a moment like that where you felt like, I need to hang up the boots for a bit, because I'm going
Yeah.
through a difficult time? Can you
Yeah,
describe
definitely, man.
what that was and like how did you get yourself out of that funk?
I mean, the first time I felt like that was in around 2012, I think. In 2012, I then when I came to the decision to kind of just try and create my own thing in 2013, actually, on top of 2013, when I tried to kind of start this own thing and just try do it myself after working with Slick and Smacks and everything.
Yeah,
When I decided to leave that sort of establishment and just try to create my own, I faced a lot of challenges, right? It was tougher than I thought and all of that, and it was hard, and I was broke, and all those things. So I decided I'm gonna, just stop and just, ah, maybe this is the story. Maybe this is the whole story. Maybe this is where it ends. I tried it, and this is probably where it ends. And so I stopped rapping for a bit, like for quite a while, and I remember Uyanga and another friend of ours came to get me from Unota, came to get me from Katlehong to kind of work on just kind of, yo, come on, get back into it, this, that, and the third, and I did. And I was like, okay, it's not like I'm doing much here anyway.
yeah.
And then I made a song called Boom Shakalaka, and that's kind of spiraled back. It kind of brought me back, and like I was like, okay, and it
This is
brought the
what it
confidence
feels like.
back, and
Yeah,
brought
it's all
everything
coming
back.
back to me.
Yeah, bro. I was like, okay, we're back, and yeah. So I mean, it's always been what always kind of pulls you back is the music. I mean, you get stressed about all the other things. I don't think I ever got stressed about the ability to make music or the ability to rap. My stresses were,
Yeah,
but this rapping thing is not bringing money. It's not changing my life the way that it's supposed to, and people are not responding maybe the way that I want them to, or quickly enough, for me to be able to make this a thing. But 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 I figured that the less I focused on that and the more I focused on music, the better the music got, and the better the responses got.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I think it took the music for me to come back out of a musical slump, but it wasn't really a musical slump. It was just frustration of things not going as fast as I would have liked.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, when did you actually realize, oh, I'm famous? At what point did you realize in your career, like, okay, I am famous? Because maybe people
Sorry, when
started
did I
to
what?
you started to get recognized in the mall and stuff. Things start to change the way you're moving around. When was it, at what point was that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was kind of relatively known, but on a small scale from like 2010, really 2009, 2010, but on really like small places here and there. People who've seen Slicker and Smacks, because I used to travel with them. I used to travel with Slicker and Smacks and Squatter Camp and open for their shows. I'd been in a couple of videos of Sugar Smacks' videos, of Slicker's videos, some Squatter Camp videos also. So there was like a little familiarity thing. And when I did songs like Stomp, it was there. But I think between 2012, 2013 is where everything changed. That's where I kind of stopped being able to go to as many places as I would have liked.
Yeah.
But it got worse in 2014, and it got really bad in 2015, and by 2016 I couldn't go buy a pair of socks. I couldn't do anything. I had to figure out how to do the online stuff, or have someone that I could ask to go do something, because a trip to go buy a pair of socks could take 2 hours. In the mall, yeah, but also my personality doesn't allow me to say no to certain things. I'm not the nah, I'm busy. I will take a picture with you, and when 5 other people see that, 5 other people are going to come too. So my personality is also not one that allows me to make it a swift thing to be in a mall. But I mean, you take it and you embrace it. But I think 2015 is when it really started, and it got monstrous from 2016 onwards.
Yeah, crazy, man. Yeah, I can only imagine, like having these restrictions. I can't do this anymore, I can't do that anymore, because of who you are, and how difficult it will be to just do something so simple. It's actually quite a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, when it's quite the challenge, but it's also very pleasing, to know that your presence, kind of, people appreciate that sometimes, and go crazy and want to take pictures and things like that. It can be annoying if you're in a rush, or maybe you're trying to be really by yourself, But a lot of the time it's like, bro, well, how I've always looked at it is like, I mean, these are the people that make you this money that you're here to spend. They sacrifice theirs so you can get yours. So you kind of always have to try find at least 5-10 minutes for people. It gets a bit too much when it's an hour or two, but it's always been something I'm willing to do.
Yeah. And you mentioned early in your careers, the guys from Scott Camp was like mentors to you, right? And at some point, you actually branched out, tried your own thing. Did you have any other mentors in your career that walked in that you feel like, wow, this person really gave me some and helped me from this period to this period? Or you are kind of like a mentor to everyone currently?
To tell you the truth, outside of Slicker, Sugar Smacks, and Squatter Camp, and really just my sort of shadowing, even without his permission, of Pro Kid. I really I didn't have anyone I kind of asked to mentor me, or was mentoring me. It's always been Slicker and Sugar Smacks who have been the big brothers, and everyone else that was around me were people I was just trying to figure it out with. We got a lot of things wrong, got a lot of things right. We got, it was always that we'll figure it out as we go. We didn't really have anyone who could understand where we were going, because even the people that had been in music sometimes, because this is when the world was changing and we were going digital with the music and stuff. So anybody who had experience was from the analog world. We were like one of the first of the digital world, so we had to figure it out. We couldn't really. There wasn't really anyone to show us. We had to go try it and fail. Because you could ask for certain things, but you couldn't get the answer you want, because they'd ask you, "What do you mean you're true? What is that? Where's your demo?" You know what I mean? And we also had to figure that out ourselves. So I didn't quite have a mentor. I wish I did sometimes, but I'm also sometimes happy that I went out there and fell flat on my face and got back up and fell flat again and got back up. That kind of thickened my skin a little bit, and I appreciate that journey. But I do wish I had a mentor. Maybe I would have only fallen once or never.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what they're there for, to help you from the mistakes, so that you can only learn what you need to learn. But unfortunately,
I'm struggling.
saying you're great as well, because you learned a lesson from there, and it taught you something. If you thick as skin, So which brings down. Sorry?
I'm saying I didn't hear anything there. That noise is too much.
Okay, let me just breathe. This is crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna be actually. This is my last question now. So maybe hopefully it will be merciful with us. This is the last bit. Can you
Yeah.
hear me clearly? Okay,
Yeah,
not
I can
clearly,
hear
but
you.
can you make up? Cool. Okay, so my last question for you is I want to take you back in my time machine to the very, very young Questa. You know, the guy who started rapping, who's like, you know what, this is something I can do.
It's very
Having walked the
persistent,
journey
bro.
that you've walked,
Say you were thinking about
sorry,
time machines.
having walked the journey that you've walked now and the person that you are now, learned what you learned today.
Yo, I
I
love
want you to
what's
go
cracking.
all the way back, and then I want you to give you that young version of you a little bit of advice. What would that advice be?
Oh, if I was to give young Questa some advice.
About the journey that you've just walked now and the person that you are now, and just tell him, yo, young
Yeah.
man, listen up.
Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean there are some things that I probably ask him not to partake in, like going to that go heavily into business with people that mean more to you than the business, or music, because it gets hard to make decisions with his because I know his personality, young Questa. I know him. I know what type of person he is. Sometimes he finds it very, very difficult to take control of the situation and say no, or say, yo, let's stop this, let's not do this, because he's quite a very, kind-hearted guy, which then makes it easy. Makes him easy to get taken advantage of, and
Yes.
or make wrong decisions based on his emotions. So I tell him to use his emotions a little less, and really use his acumen, or what he always, gut feeling about things, and use that more. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty proud of this guy. I think everything he went through was a necessity. It was very necessary. So I wouldn't tell him to change a lot. I would just, yeah, I would just tell him to use his emotions a little less. Be as kind-hearted as he is, but use his emotions a little less. Be more strict on the business side of things. And and yeah. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I'm happy he had a child. I'm happy he got married. I'm happy, all these things, all these steps that he took, that people said he wasn't ready for, or it wasn't the time for.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy he took those steps. I am who I am because of some of those things. So other than remind him of his mistakes, I'd probably clap for everything he did well.
absolutely, man. Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Questa.
I'm proud of that guy.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. Awesome. Wow, Questa, bringing us to the end of the interview, and damn, this crazy robotic sound. I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest on The Price of Fame. Thank you for pulling through, brother. I
Yeah,
truly, truly appreciate it, and I know my viewers are also excited and happy that you've been a guest with us tonight. Please, guys, follow Quest on all his social platforms. Like I said, he's got an album out in the car too. Please check it out. This man is doing amazing things. You can, like, from this interview, you can actually learn from him and what kind of man he is, and what kind of energy and example that he puts out for his little kids, his hood. Ladies and gentlemen, Questa, check him out, follow him, support him, because local talent is a liquor talent. Questa, is there anything else that you need to want to say before we go?
thank you so much for giving yourself the time to listen to my little story. Make sure you go out there and get God Guluva out right now. Say.
100%. Questa, thank you so much. May you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, sir.
Well, thank you, bro.
Cheers. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you who stuck it through up until now with all of these glitches going on, thank you so much for supporting the show. I truly, truly appreciate you as much as you appreciate what's going on here. I appreciate you. This show wouldn't really be successful without you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for making my dream come true. And like I said with Questa, let's make the South African entertainment industry the best supported by local, because local talent is liquor talent. And that's it from Questa, and that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lunga Tshuka. I've been your host. This is The Price of Fame.